I love New York City. It's been such a long time since I last visited, and every time I'm here, I fall in love with it all over again.
I know exactly what you mean. There's something about this place. The energy, the people, the parks. It just never gets old.
Especially Central Park. It's like this huge oasis in the middle of all the chaos. You get the skyline in the distance, but here it's just peaceful.
Yeah, it's the perfect balance. You get the best of both worlds, nature and the city. It's hard to believe this park has been here for over a century.
I know, right? And it's amazing how every part of the park feels different. You've got the lakes, the big open fields, the wooded areas. It's like a little world of its own.
Exactly. I love walking through here and just getting lost in thought. It's like hitting the reset button after a long week.
Same here. Plus, you never know what you're going to see. Street performers, people having picnics, someone reading a book under a tree. It's always something interesting.
Totally. Last time I was here, I stumbled upon this amazing jazz band playing right near the fountain. They had a crowd gathered, and it felt like one of those moments you just don't get anywhere else.
I love that. It's those little spontaneous things that make the city so special. You could be having the most ordinary day, and then suddenly something magical happens.
Exactly. It's like the city has its own rhythm, and you just kind of fall into it.
Speaking of rhythm, have you been to any good shows recently? New York's got some of the best theaters and concerts.
Actually, I went to a Broadway show last weekend, caught the revival of West Side Story. It was incredible.
That sounds amazing. I've been meaning to catch a show. There's just so much to do here, it's hard to keep up.
Broadway is always such a treat. You should definitely go if you have the time. But hey, look at this view. It's like a different world over here.
Yeah, the park really transforms from one area to the next. I love this little pond. It's so peaceful.
I used to come here when I needed to clear my head. Something about watching the ducks just helps put everything into perspective. Sometimes it's nice to just sit here and let the world pass by for a moment. I've made a lot of big decisions in spots like this.
Really? What kind of decisions?
Oh, life stuff, career changes, relationships, even just figuring out what I want next. It's like the park helps me sort through everything.
That makes sense. I feel like we all need a place like this, where we can just think without distractions.
Yeah, especially in a city like New York. It's easy to get caught up in the fast pace of everything. Having a quiet corner like this makes all the difference.
I have to say, Sarah, you really know how to plan a perfect picnic. This spot, the weather, everything's just right.
Right? And no sweating while sitting still. I'm all about that cool breeze and sweater weather.
Yeah, the park really transforms from one area to the next. I love this little pond. It's so peaceful.
I get it. Summer's fun, but fall's like that perfect cozy blanket after all the craziness. A nice reset.
I can see why. It feels like time slows down a bit here, away from the busier parts of the city.
I get that. Summer's great for being active, but for me, autumn feels peaceful. The way the leaves change color, it's like nature slows down a bit.
And hey, at least in fall, you don't have to deal with summer sunburns. That's a win for me.
Exactly. And those walks when you can hear the crunch of the leaves under your feet, it's the best. Summer does have its charm, but right now I'm loving this autumn breeze and the view of the leaves turning gold. It's almost magical.
You've got me rethinking my love for summer now, but I'm still holding on. Summer's just the ultimate season for freedom. Beach days, late-night bonfires, and endless sunshine.
All right, I'll give you summer for our next picnic. Deal?
Okay. You win this round. But next picnic, we're doing it in the summer so I can convince you. I'll give you that. But there's something about summer, especially those lazy afternoons in the park. No deadlines, no rush, just soaking up the sun.
So, what else is new with you? We've talked about seasons, but I feel like we haven't caught up in forever.
Yeah, it's been a while. Work's been keeping me pretty busy, honestly. But I've been thinking about trying something new, maybe traveling more or picking up a new hobby.
That sounds exciting. Any places on your travel list?
Well, I've always wanted to see Japan. I'm fascinated by the culture, the food, and those crazy city lights in Tokyo. Plus, visiting in spring with all the cherry blossoms would be amazing.
Japan sounds incredible. I'd love to go there too, especially for the cherry blossom season. You'd probably fall in love with that, even as a summer fan. What about hobbies? Any ideas?
I was thinking about photography, actually. I've always liked capturing moments, but I've never really dived into it seriously.
Photography. That's perfect, especially with your love for nature and being outdoors. You'd probably take some amazing shots.
Yeah, I thought it could be a good way to slow down and appreciate things more. Plus, it gives me an excuse to spend even more time outside.
That sounds perfect. You could totally combine photography with your travels too. Imagine capturing those cherry blossoms in Japan or sunsets from all the places you visit.
Exactly. It feels like the kind of hobby that can blend into everything else I love: travel, nature, even just a walk in the park like today.
And I bet you'd get really good at it quickly. You've always had a good eye for detail, like noticing those little things other people might miss.
Thanks. That's kind of why I've been thinking about it. I want to be more present, you know? And photography forces you to slow down and really see things.
Yeah, it's a great way to connect with the moment. Plus, you'll have some amazing photos to look back on.
Exactly. What about you? Any new hobbies or plans on the horizon?
I've been thinking about getting back into painting. I used to love it, but somehow it slipped away over the years.
Painting sounds awesome. You should definitely do it. I can already see you with your easel, painting all these fall colors.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fall is the perfect time to get back into it. The colors are just so inspiring.
Looks like we both found creative outlets to explore. Photography for me, painting for you. Maybe we'll even collaborate one day.
That'd be amazing. You take the pictures, I'll paint the scenes. Hey, Alex, since we're already here, how about we check out another part of the park? There's this hidden spot I love with a small bridge over a stream. It's really peaceful.
That sounds great. I'm always up for discovering new places. Lead the way.
You're going to love it. It's a bit off the main path, so not too many people know about it. It feels like a little secret in the middle of the city.
Perfect. I could use more of those hidden gems today. Let's go. I'm excited to see where you're taking me. Central Park has so many hidden gems.
Oh, you'll love it. It's this quiet spot with a view of the skyline, but it's peaceful, like the city feels far away.
That sounds perfect. Lead the way.
We're almost there. It's just around this corner. I come here whenever I need to clear my head.
I can see why. It's so peaceful. You've got the best of both worlds: the city in the distance and all this nature around us.
Exactly. It's like my own little escape in the middle of everything. Sometimes I bring a book or just sit and take it all in.
I love it. It's the perfect spot to recharge. I'm surprised there aren't more people here.
That's why I love it. It's not as crowded as the main parts of the park, so it feels like a hidden treasure. Well, I'm definitely coming back here. Next time, I'll bring my sketchbook. It's so inspiring.
Sounds like a plan. We can make this our spot.
I'd love that. It's so easy to forget how much beauty there is in the city, especially with a place like this.
Yeah, sometimes we get so caught up in the rush that we miss out on places like this. It's good to slow down and appreciate it.
Exactly. And I feel like this spot could be our little creative haven. Me with my sketchbook and you with your camera. We'd make a good team. I'm already picturing what I'd draw, the colors, the way the light hits the trees.
I can already see it. Autumn leaves, the skyline in the distance. You'd capture the perfect sketch, and I'd take the perfect shot. And I'd be there capturing every moment.
Let's make it happen then. We'll come back soon, and next time, we'll bring our supplies.
Deal. This spot will be our secret creative hideaway. So, enough about creativity for now. How have things been otherwise? Anything exciting happening in your life lately?
Well, actually, I've been thinking about a big change. I might move out of the city.
Really? That's huge. Where are you thinking of going?
Somewhere quieter, maybe upstate. I've been craving a change of pace, you know? The city's great, but I'm starting to feel like I need something different.
I get that. The city can be a lot sometimes. Do you have a place in mind?
I've been looking at a few small towns near the mountains. More nature, fewer crowds. It's tempting.
That sounds amazing. I could totally see you in a place like that, surrounded by nature.
It feels right, but it's a big decision, so I'm still thinking it over.
Well, whatever you decide, I know it'll be the right move for you. And hey, I'll come visit. You won't be rid of me that easily.
I'll hold you to that. I could use a city friend to remind me of the hustle and bustle every once in a while.
Wow, look at that view. The river looks so calm, and Bow Bridge just adds to the charm, doesn't it?
It really does. There's something about this spot that feels like it's straight out of a movie. The water, the bridge, it's perfect.
Exactly. This is one of my favorite places to come when I need to unwind. There's just something peaceful about watching the river flow.
It's moments like these that remind me why I love New York so much. Even in the middle of the hustle, you find these little pockets of peace.
Yeah, it feels like the city disappears for a moment. Just us and the park. Couldn't have said it better myself. We could start exploring more spots like this. Central Park has so many hidden corners, and we've barely scratched the surface.
That's a great idea. We could make it our mission to find the best quiet spots in the city.
Yeah, like a little adventure right here in New York. Every time we meet up, we find a new place to explore.
I'm in. It's funny. You don't even have to leave the city to feel like you're traveling sometimes. There's so much to see if you just take the time to look.
Exactly. Sometimes I forget how lucky we are to live in a place like this. There's always something new to discover.
Exactly. And places like this make me appreciate living here even more. It's like a reminder that there's always a balance. It's a good reminder to slow down more often. I feel like I'm always moving so fast, but moments like this are what stick with you.
Agreed. Let's make a plan then. Next time, we'll pick a new spot, maybe even pack another picnic.
Definitely. Let's make it a habit. I think I've seen this spot in a movie before. Bow Bridge, the river, it all looks so familiar.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in the rush and miss spots like this. But when you take a moment to slow down, it feels like the whole city opens up.
That's it. I remember now. It's always surreal when you're standing in a place that's been part of a movie scene. Makes it feel even more special.
Totally. It's not all skyscrapers and traffic. There's nature, quiet moments, and spots like this that make you forget about the craziness for a while.
Yeah, or some dramatic movie moment playing out right in front of us.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up in the background of a movie someday, just sitting here, talking like this.
Well, if it ever happens, we'll have this spot to thank. Bow Bridge, the unexpected star of our lives.
Hey, it could happen. With how often they film here, I wouldn't be surprised. This whole park really does feel like it has its own personality. No wonder it's such a popular spot for movies and shows. That's the beauty of it. It's like the park is constantly changing, depending on where you are and what time of day it is. And no matter how many times you come back, there's always something new to discover.
Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure there's another spot nearby that was in a famous movie. Want to go check it out?
Definitely. Lead the way.
Wow, look at this place. Bethesda Terrace is even more beautiful in person.
Yeah, it's pretty stunning. I love the way the stonework looks with the greenery around it. No wonder they use this spot for so many movie scenes.
Exactly. It's like stepping into a different world. Can you believe the Avengers had a huge fight scene here?
I know, right? It's hard to picture superheroes battling it out when it's so peaceful like this.
That's the magic of it. This place can be anything: romantic, action-packed, or just a quiet escape.
You're right. And right now, it feels like we've got it all to ourselves.
Yeah, let's enjoy it while we can. I could stay here for hours, just taking it all in.
It's funny, you can feel the history here too. Like all the people who've passed through, all the stories this place has been a part of.
Totally. The scene was so intense, but standing here now, it's hard to picture all that chaos. This place feels so calm in real life.
Yeah, I remember that. It's crazy to think we're standing right where that happened. It looked so different with all the CGI and action.
Exactly. It's like the park has its own character in every film. It can be anything the story needs it to be. It really is. And now we're here, making our own memories.
That's the magic of movies, right? They can transform a place into something completely different. But I like seeing it like this: peaceful, beautiful, and real.
Maybe one day this spot will show up in another movie and we'll be like, hey, we were there. That would be fun. Imagine watching a movie and suddenly spotting yourself just walking around like today.
For sure. Maybe we'll be extras in the background without even realizing it. This spot reminds me of a book I read a few years ago. It was all about Central Park and described every little corner of it.
Really? That sounds like something I'd love. I had no idea there were books like that.
Yeah, it was amazing. The author went into so much detail about each area, from the well-known spots like Bethesda Terrace to hidden corners that most people never visit. Reading it felt like you were taking a guided tour through the park's history.
That sounds incredible. I feel like there's so much we don't know about this place. I'm definitely adding that to my reading list. What's it called?
It's called Central Park, an American masterpiece. The author really knows the park inside and out, and there are even some cool old photos that show what it used to look like. It'll make you want to explore even more. After I read it, I started seeing the park differently, like every spot has its own story to tell.
That sounds perfect. I'd love to know more about the history of this place, especially the lesser-known parts. Now I'm even more curious. Thanks for the recommendation. I can't wait to dive into it.
You'll love it, trust me. And who knows, maybe after you read it, we can come back and explore the spots we missed today.
That sounds like a plan. It'll be like seeing the park with fresh eyes all over again.
Exactly. Plus, any excuse to come back here is a good one.
Agreed. This has been such a nice day. Perfect weather, great company, and we got to discover some of the hidden gems in the park.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm glad we took the time to slow down and enjoy it.
Same here. We should do this more often. Life gets so busy, but it's nice to just take a break and enjoy the little things.
Absolutely. Next time, we'll explore even more. Maybe we can make our way through the whole park eventually.
I'd love that. It sounds like an adventure we'll have to keep going.
For sure. But for now, we should probably start heading back. It's getting late.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for today, Alex. I really needed this.
Anytime, Sarah. Let's plan the next adventure soon.
Definitely. I'll see you soon.